We're working in Module 13 and we've been talking in this module about sorting and filtering options in Excel. In Section 1, we went over how to remove the duplicates from your list. In Section 2, we talked about sorting, and now we're down to Section 3, where I want to show you how to filter your data. Filtering basically means that you're going to tell Excel the criteria that you'd like to see, and it will hide everything that doesn't match that criteria. Let's flip over to Excel and I will show you how to start filtering your data. We've got this long list of payroll information, and there's a lot of information I'd like to just pull out and look at separately instead of looking at the whole list, and that's where the filtering comes in. In order to actually turn on the filter option, you want to start by clicking in your header row. It doesn't matter which column, just click anywhere in the header row. On your Data tab, you're going to see right here the option that says Filter. And now you'll see these little arrows that are drop downs next to each one of your column headings. You'll notice that when you click the down arrow and you look down at this section, it's going to list each item in that column one time. Everything is checked. That means you're showing everything. Let's say you just wanted to see anyone in the children's department. All you'd have to do is uncheck the Select All, check next to Children's, and click OK. And now you'll notice everything in this list is only for the children's department. The rows that did not meet the criteria have not been deleted, they're just hidden. You'll notice if you look at your row headings on the left, the blue indicates they're part of a filtered list. And you'll see that rows 10 and 11 are hidden, it looks like 13, and you can go down the list and see all the ones that are hidden. If a column has a filter applied, you're going to see this little icon right here that indicates a filter. And just click on that, and you can either clear the filter or select all, either one, and that will go ahead and show everything in the list again. Now let's say you'd like to see anyone in the children's department who's also in the Australian division. You would go back and first filter by department. We'll go ahead and uncheck Select All. We'll check Children's and click OK. That narrows our list. Now I'll go to the division column, uncheck Select All, and choose Australia and click OK. And now you can see that only 4 people met that criteria. You can keep adding more filters if you want, but let's say you wanted to take all these off. Instead of going to each one of these individually and saying clear the filter, you can actually clear all the filters at the same time by going up to your Data tab, and next to Filter you'll see this Clear. And if you click on Clear, that clears all the filters. Let's talk about filtering over with some numbers in column I. This is a listing of the hours that the employee worked this week, and I really want to get a list of anyone who worked overtime. That means more than 40 hours. If I click my down arrow, I'm going to uncheck Select All, and the easiest thing to do is check the one that says 42. But what if you had some people that worked 41 and some people that worked all the way up to 50? It's probably not a big deal to go check all those off, but I want to show you another way to work with number filters. Do you see right here it says number filters? Over here you've got different options you can apply, and we're looking for anyone who worked more than, which should be greater than in this case, and then we'll put 40 here. I'll go ahead and click OK. And now you'll see all the people that met the criteria. We have 4 people that worked over 40 hours. Okay, let me clear that filter again. Let's say this time we'd like to get a list of anyone who worked between 35 and 40 hours this week. From the drop down, what you don't want to do is go and just click all of these. Now you could, but think about if you're working with thousands of pieces of information, it might be way too much work. Another way to do this is use the number filters. One of the options you have here is Between. If you click on Between, it takes you back to this custom auto filter window, and notice it says hours is greater than or equal to, and this is where we put 35. And then it also says is less than or equal to 40. Now you'll notice there's an and an or here. These are called conditions. An and condition means it has to meet both criteria. Or means it meets one or the other criteria. We're going to say and in this case and go ahead and click OK. And let's look down the list and see if all of these are between 35 and 40. And it looks like all of these are, all the way down. That's how you would do what we call a between function. Now let me go back to the list. I'm going to clear the filter. And now I'm showing everyone again. Let's go over to column H and look at this one for a moment. This is the column that represents the benefits the employee has. An employee can have any combination of dental, retirement, and or hospitalization, or they may have none. Some of these are blank because maybe they didn't have any benefits and that could have changed, and maybe you want to see a list of those so that you can go fill those in. Notice when you're looking at this list, I can select all of the blanks. Then I can take this list and go research and make sure they really don't have any benefits. Now let's say this. I'll clear this filter. I'd like to get a list of anyone who has dental insurance. Maybe the rate is going up and I'd like to send them a letter. If I click the down arrow, you could go through and click all the ones that have a D in there. And in this case, there's only 4. But think again, if you have thousands of these you're working with, that may not be the best way to do this. I want you to notice that because you're in a text column, you have text filters. And look at the options here. I can say, give me anything that equals the letter D. But if you said equals the letter D, that means you're leaving out the people who have dental and hospitalization or dental and retirement. So what you'd like to do here is get a list of any cell that contains the letter D. Now when you look down the list, you'll see that the letter D is in any of these cells, and the employee can have any combination of these that they like. You can see that you can keep going on with filters forever. I'm going to go ahead and actually clear these. I'll say select all and click OK. There are some other things you can do with filters. What if I asked you, for example, to give me a list of anyone who's in the Canada and Art department and also anyone in Germany Children's? You would not be able to do that with the drop-down list here. You'd have to create what we call an advanced filter. I'd like to show you how advanced filters work, so let's go ahead and move over to section 4 and talk about advanced filters.